Major League Baseball has never seen anything quite like what happened during the Dodgers and Atlanta Braves matchup that has left the entire sports world completely speechless. What started as a highly anticipated clash between two of the most competitive teams in the National League quickly turned into one of the most talked about and controversial moments of the entire MLB season. Shohei Ohtani, the most celebrated and respected player in baseball today, was pushed to a breaking point that nobody in the stadium or watching at home ever expected to witness. A Braves coach crossed a line so serious and so personal that Ohtani, a man known worldwide for his calm and composed demeanor, was seen charging toward the rival coach in a moment of pure fury. What exactly did the Braves coach say? What pushed Ohtani over the edge? And what are the consequences now that this explosive confrontation has been seen by millions of people around the world? From the very first inning, the atmosphere inside the stadium felt different. There was an edge to the energy that veteran baseball observers could sense immediately. The Dodgers and Braves have developed one of the most intense rivalries in recent baseball history, and every time these two teams share a field, the competitive temperature rises significantly. But what unfolded during this particular game went far beyond normal rivalry intensity. It crossed into territory that left players, coaches, umpires, and fans struggling to process what they had just witnessed in real time. The incident took place when Shohei Ohtani stepped up to the plate in what was already a pressure-filled moment in the game. The stadium was electric with anticipation because when Ohtani steps into the batter's box, something extraordinary always feels possible. Fans leaned forward in their seats, cameras focused tightly on the Japanese superstar, and the entire ballpark held its breath waiting to see what he would do. What nobody could have predicted was that the most dramatic moment of the at-bat would have nothing to do with the pitch or the swing. From the Braves dugout, the voice of one of their coaches rang out clearly enough to be heard by players on both sides of the field. What was said in that moment was immediately recognized by everyone close enough to hear it as something deeply inappropriate and completely unacceptable by any standard of professional conduct. Witnesses at the scene described the taunt as personal, targeted, and deliberately designed to get inside Ohtani's head at the most critical moment of his at-bat. The words were not the kind of competitive trash talk that occasionally surfaces in the heat of a baseball game. This was something far more calculated and far more disrespectful. The reaction from Ohtani was unlike anything his teammates, opponents, or fans have ever seen from him. The man who has always carried himself with extraordinary grace and professionalism, the man who smiles through pressure and lets his performance silence every critic, suddenly could not contain the fury rising inside him. Ohtani turned from the plate and began moving in the direction of the Braves dugout with a look on his face that sent immediate alarm through everyone watching. Players from both teams described the expression on Ohtani's face as something they had never seen before. This was not the calm, focused Ohtani the world knows. This was a man who had been pushed far beyond his limit. Within seconds, the entire field erupted. Dodgers players poured out of their dugout immediately, moving quickly to reach their teammate before the situation escalated any further. Umpires rushed to position themselves between Ohtani and the Braves dugout, arms outstretched, voices raised, doing everything in their power to prevent a full confrontation from occurring. The crowd, which had been buzzing with excitement just moments earlier, fell into a stunned and disbelieving silence as they tried to understand what had just triggered one of the most shocking scenes in recent MLB memory. Manager Dave Roberts was one of the first people to reach Ohtani. Sources close to the Dodgers reveal that Roberts placed himself directly in front of his star player, speaking to him in a calm but urgent voice, trying to bring him back from the edge of a confrontation that could have had serious consequences for everyone involved. Those standing nearby said that Roberts was firm but compassionate, acknowledging Ohtani's feelings while making clear that the team needed him focused and on the field. It took several tense seconds before Ohtani finally stopped his advance, but the fire in his eyes did not disappear quickly. The Braves coaching staff, for their part, was visibly shaken by the speed and intensity of Ohtani's reaction. Several Braves players were seen physically holding back the coach responsible for the taunt, clearly aware that the situation had escalated far beyond what anyone intended or expected. The coach himself, according to witnesses, appeared genuinely surprised by the force of Ohtani's response, which only added to the chaos of an already extraordinary scene. After order was restored on the field, umpires gathered for an extended discussion about how to handle what had just occurred. The head umpire was seen speaking directly with both managers, taking detailed accounts of exactly what had been said and by whom. It was clear that this was not an incident that would simply be swept under the rug or forgotten by the time the final out was recorded. Major League Baseball's eyes and ears were already fully engaged, and everyone in the stadium understood that the consequences of this moment would extend well beyond the game itself. Freddie Freeman spoke to reporters after the game with a directness and passion that reflected exactly how the entire Dodgers clubhouse was feeling. Freeman said that what that coach said to Ohtani was heard by enough people that there is absolutely no question about what happened. He said the Dodgers stand completely and unconditionally behind their teammate and that nobody in professional baseball should ever be subjected to that kind of personal and targeted disrespect. Freeman's voice carried the weight of a man who was genuinely angry and genuinely protective of someone he considers not just a teammate but a brother. Mookie Betts, who was in the dugout when the incident occurred, said he was on his feet and moving toward the field before he even fully processed what he was seeing. Betts said that seeing Ohtani react the way he did told him everything he needed to know about how serious the taunt was. He said that Ohtani is one of the most mentally strong and professionally composed people he has ever shared a field with. For something to push him to that point, it had to be genuinely over the line. Betts made absolutely clear that the Dodgers expect Major League Baseball to respond with the full weight of its authority. Ohtani himself addressed the situation briefly after the game, which in itself was remarkable given how private he typically is about personal matters. Speaking through his interpreter, Ohtani said that he reached a point where he could no longer simply absorb what was being directed at him. He acknowledged that his reaction may have surprised people but said that every person, regardless of their profession or public profile, has a limit. He thanked his teammates and manager for their support and said he is now fully focused on helping the Dodgers win. The quiet dignity with which he spoke after such a volatile moment only deepened the respect that players and fans around the world already have for him. Major League Baseball confirmed that a full investigation into the incident has been launched and that the Braves coach at the center of the controversy has already been interviewed by league officials. The investigation is expected to be completed quickly, with the league signaling that it takes this matter with the utmost seriousness. Analysts and former players speaking on various platforms throughout the day were nearly unanimous in their view that the coach must face meaningful disciplinary action if the league wants to send a clear message about the standards of conduct it expects from everyone involved in professional baseball. Inside the Dodgers clubhouse following the game, the mood was one of solidarity and quiet determination. Players spoke of their pride in how their teammates rallied around Ohtani in the moment and their confidence that the league will handle the situation appropriately. Roberts, in his final comments to the media, said that this team protects its own and that what happened today only makes this group stronger and more united heading into the games ahead. As for Shohei Ohtani, those who know him best say that what happened today will not define him or distract him. He is already locked in and prepared for the next challenge, because that is simply who he is. The greatest player in baseball today does not let moments like this break him. If anything, they make him more determined than ever to go out onto that field and remind the entire world exactly why his name stands above all others in this sport. What happened between a Braves coach and Shohei Ohtani will be talked about for a very long time. But the final word, as always, will belong to Ohtani himself. And he will deliver it the only way he knows how, with a bat in his hand and the world watching. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Subscribe to our channel for more interesting and up-to-date baseball news and updates.